Maximum Extreme Podcast, the ultimate movie and lifestyle podcast. My name is Bobby Stryker, and today we have a guest speaker with us, my brother Keeb. Hello Keeb, welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Bit nervous.
So, good? No, nothing to be nervous about. So this week, unfortunately, Yao cannot be with us. He's busy saving lives. As many of you may know, he is a top surgeon, and so that's what he's doing right now, probably. So instead, we've brought in a friend, my brother, and a fan of the podcast, Keeb. I've received a few emails through the Facebook page asking me what the intro and outro track is. And in fact, it's an electric guitar piece recorded by myself and my brother called Electric Superfly. You can catch the whole track on YouTube if you type in either my name or the name of the track. So it's interesting to have the other and probably the main lead guitarist from that track here with us today. So shall we talk about that? So Keeb, what do you tell us? When did we record it? I can't remember. It's a while back now.
It's been a couple of years, I think. Usually you and I, we record some music together. And usually what happens is that you come up with an idea saying, we should do a song and it should sound something like this, either flamenco-y or should sound like heavy metal or something. And then what happens is that you go off somewhere and make the name of the song, and I'm left to do the actual song.
I've always been better at coming up with the names, and my solos usually all sound the same and use about the same 2 or 3 scales.
Yeah, but still, if you've got a talent and you're good at something, you should stick to that. And you're good at the name making up names. You should be proud of your contribution.
I can't remember if we recorded it while I was out in Singapore already, or if it was before I moved out.
I can't remember. This was a couple of Christmases ago. I think this was just before you left for Singapore. Actually, this was before you left. Yeah.
So this shows how, unfortunately, infrequently I was going home when I was still working in the UK. So we ended up recording about one song a year.
Yeah.
And sometimes less, sometimes half. Because we were doing that cover, the electric guitar cover of Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence.
Yeah.
And it was coming along really well.
Yeah,
I really like the sound of it.
Sounds good.
The harmonies. Yeah, but we never really managed to get anywhere.
Well, we could do like a Metallica type thing and just copy and paste all the songs together and come out with some crazy, and call, music and call it progressive metal or something like that. I'm sure people would love it.
Is that what they call themselves now? Progressive metal?
That's what happens when you just have random bits instead of chorus, verse, chorus, verse.
I think they're mistaken. I'm sure it's more the opposite. It's like regressive metal.
It's just, it's a fancy way of saying you don't know what you're doing, really.
It's rubbish. No, there's so many, I don't even know what it means. I meet people and they say, and if I ask them what kind of music they like listening to, and they say, progressive.
I know, yeah.
What does that mean? It's like moving forward.
I don't know. I think progressive means when, they're not sticking to the traditional form of, the song. So, traditionally it's like, verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus. But these guys they just go crazy.
So it's not actually, so what you're saying is not actually a style of music, it's actually a song structure.
Yeah, pretty much. But there is
it? No, that's not true. I'm pretty sure progressive means a specific type of music, like it's a type of rock or something, isn't it?
Perhaps, I don't know.
What's Dream Theater and those bands? Aren't they progressive?
Dream Theater, yeah, they're progressive, but that's like if you look at their songs, they're like 8 minutes long and they've got random bits and bobs here and there. So basically, it's still under the umbrella of heavy metal. Yeah,
it's a type of metal.
But there's so many different types of metal as well. I remember I was talking to someone and we were like listing the types, and there was like thrash, speed, heavy, death, pop metal, and 80s metal. It's just like 100 different genres within a genre.
My favorite was good old pop shred fusion.
I thought your favorite was power metal. Where everything's about dragons and knights and horses.
The Knights of Justice. Yeah, no, I wasn't a big fan of power metal. I think I dabbled in it. Was Dragon Force power metal?
Yeah, they're power metal. I don't know. I don't know what happened to those guys though. Yeah.
It was like a bit of a fad. I enjoyed it for maybe a month or two, and then it all started sounding the same, regardless of band.
Yeah, but I remember when you did start getting into Dragon Force and stuff. You introduced me to it, and I love my guitar music. So I got into it, and then it was my 18th birthday, wasn't it? We went to see Dragon Force. And I nearly died.
Yeah, you left the concert bleeding.
Yeah, no, yeah. We were in the concert, and I knew that something had happened. I don't know how it happened or where, but I knew I knew I was bleeding. I knew I was bleeding, and then I asked you guys, "Am I bleeding?" And you both, you and your friend, you both looked at me like, "No, you're fine." Then we went home, and there was this massive gash on my chin.
It was so funny because we arrived there and the rest of the queue was like around the corner. So we went and just stood at the door where, the main entrance is. Then all these other guys were, "Hey, that's not the queue's here." And we were like, "No, this is the door, right? This is the entrance to the place. The queue's here. And we've just come here. You guys were stood around the back in the alleyway for some reason." So they weren't too happy about it.
Then they got their plastic axes out, didn't they?
I don't know.
Do you remember that? Yeah, they had all this rubbish. I don't know what was going on. I think after that moment, I stopped enjoying power metal, due to that experience.
Yeah, I don't know why they're all infatuated with being Vikings.
I don't know.
They're not. The music's got no connection. It's about dragons. I don't know. Were there dragons in Viking times?
I have no idea. I never listened to the lyrics. I think the lyrics, don't make much sense, really.
Yeah, I only got into it because I was always looking for bands that had fast-ish guitar solos, because we both really like our guitar songs, and we have all the classics, Yngwie Malmsteen and Steve Vai and your favorite Vinnie Moore and Satriani, all these guys. We're always trying to find maybe there's a band out there that we haven't discovered, and somehow I saw it in HMV, this album by Dragon Force, and it said on the cover, it said something stupid like I can't remember something. There was actually a sticker.
Yeah, I remember it was some melodic super speed power thrash metal or something.
Yeah, like power shred guitar metal. And I thought, okay, he's actually advertising it. Normally most bands are embarrassed by it and they try and hide it. So I listened to it and there was loads of silly solos. The sound's a bit samey now, but at the time I was like, oh wow, there's lots of harmonies and lots of crazy stuff going on, and checked it out, and yeah, it seemed pretty interesting. So they kind of rose up really quickly, and Herman Lee, the guitarist, the lead guitarist, he quickly shot to fame and became an ambassador for Ibanez, and just as quickly has disappeared now, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. I haven't heard much from them since those days.
Yeah. So as everyone can probably tell, we have a lot of... today's episode is quite different to what we usually talk about. We're purely movie-based, but we are a lifestyle podcast, so, it's... although it's not mainstream music, it is...
I like the way you added that one caveat. So it's movies and lifestyle, which encompasses everything else in the universe. So,
Yeah, it's a disclaimer that allows us to talk about anything we want. But we could still touch on movies. You mentioned that you've noticed on the website the kind of weekly top 5 list, which has been updated so far once.
Yeah.
Since the website has started. So we could just come up with a random top 5 of the moment. So just off the top of my head, a few films that I really enjoy. One is the Studio Ghibli animated movie. I think it's been on the top 5 list of mine for a while, just because it's one film that I'm always so fond of, Spirited Away. Another film in my top 5 is Ronin with Robert De Niro. It's a great film. And then the last 3, maybe I wouldn't say they're obscure, but they are French movies, so maybe they're not as well known. But they're great movies. There's Priceless, Heartbreaker, and the classic Le Dîner des Cons, The Dinner of Idiots, I believe is the rough translation, which Hollywood have tried to remake a million times, every time unsuccessfully. Most recently as, I think, Dinner for Schmucks.
I love those last 3, those French movies. They're great. They're so good.
They're great. So the list is not a favorite films of all time kind of list. It's just whatever we seem to be, watching at the moment, or just something I wanted to watch, and I'm really enjoying watching it again. And as these movies are, they're not new movies. Have you seen all of these?
I've seen the French movies and Spirited Away. I haven't seen Ronin.
You haven't seen Ronin?
No.
Oh man, the Ronin is a really good film. It's what's the director's name? I'm trying to remember. John Frankenheimer. I mean, he's I think that was the guy, but I think he's passed away now. But it was a great film about a group of kind of ex-mercenaries. So basically, the word Ronin comes from Japanese. Yeah, it's a Japanese term for a masterless samurai, and that's loosely used by this movie to describe these people. So they're not referred in the movie as Ronin, but basically these people are ex-special forces or former, military, whatever the case is. They now no longer work for anyone except for whoever's, willing to pay the most. So you end up with this group of quite different people. You've got Jean Reno in there. You've got Sean Bean, Robert De Niro, and a few others. And they're tasked in France to obtain a briefcase, the contents of which is unknown. And it's just a great film. It's the dynamic between everyone, and the key character here is De Niro, who is clearly extremely smart, and little things he picks up on about other members of the team and how things develop. I mean, there's a lot of action. I think they wrecked something like 288 cars making the film because they wanted to avoid any CGI, any of that kind of rubbish. And the driving and the car chases are pretty amazing. I don't know, it's just the whole vibe. I really love this movie. It didn't do great, but for me it's always been a personal favorite, and it's quite an understated but quite a powerful movie, and I love coming back to it.
Yeah. When was that made then?
98.
So it's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
That thing you said though about it being a flop or whatever. I mean, there's been so many films like that, haven't there, that have flopped but they're really good. And
I mean, me and Yao, we were talking about during the Prometheus podcast about Blade Runner. Although I didn't like it, it was originally considered to be a flop. It was only kind of later rediscovered by everyone on, I think in the home market, and has become huge.
Yeah, Shawshank Redemption is similar. It did really badly, didn't it? And then when it did Shawshank. Yeah, it did, and now it's like number 1 on IMDb, but it did really badly. And then it got released for rental. And then, people realised how amazing it is, so...
Okay. Yeah. So how about you? If you had to, just off the top of your head, if you had a top 5 movies of the moment, what would you... Do you have anything like that?
Yeah, some of these are of the moment, but some of these will always be, like, in the top 5. And,
okay.
So, I might as well get the most embarrassing out the way. I just saw this with my girlfriend the other day, and it's Titanic.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Titanic.
Yeah, I know. I thought I'd get that one out of the way before I move on to the more artsy side of stuff.
In 3D? Did you watch it in 3D?
Well, the thing is, I don't know if, obviously your listeners don't know, but, I was in Prague for a few years, and, I couldn't get to see it in 3D in English, so we gave it a miss, and we watched the 2D one. Just to relive it. It was just so good. I mean, it's just so funny. I love the characters in it. Like, what's the bad guy's name in it? The really pompous guy.
Yeah, it's Billy Zane, but I can't remember the name of his character.
Well, Billy Zane, but he's just so funny in it. I think he's probably my favourite character. Actually, I think I want to be like him,
Yeah, whatever.
Like, it was so funny. No, but it's just so James Cameron, because I don't think, I think his movies, they're not very subtle, are they? They're big blockbusters, and it's really obvious what's going on. And as soon as as soon as the movie starts, he looks at the boat and he says, "Oh, even God couldn't sink this ship," and you hate him already. It's just wonderful. And he's so lovably pompous throughout the whole movie. You kind of feel bad for him.
He does have great comedy value. I did see it in 3D when it was released in Singapore, and although it's not I don't think it will ever appear in my top 5 list, but it was quite enjoyable, and I wasn't a big fan when it was first released, but yeah, I think I spoke to you after watching it about how funny his Billy Zane's character is. I just remember that scene where he...
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's a spoiler for anyone. I think most people have seen it, but the ship sinks, if you don't know. Okay. They're all getting into lifeboats, and they're giving priority to people with kids, women and children. And he just picks up some stranger's kid and goes, "I've got a child!
please.
I have a child!
She's all I have." Oh, God.
Some stranger's kid just to get onto the boat. And what was that line? You mentioned that line.
Which...
I can't remember.
There's so many good ones, though. I don't know, like, is it the one where he's angry at his wife and, his fiancée?
No, the one where they were talking about they've only got enough boats for half the crew.
And then he looks at them and he says, they say there's only enough boats for half of the people on the boat. And he looks at everyone and says, and then like, the fiancée, Rose, she's like, don't you understand? That means half the people are going to die. And he looks at her and he says, not the better half. I mean, that's just so good.
Such an idiot. Oh, but he hasn't done anything since then. I mean, he has a cameo in Zoolander. Then I saw some trailer for some TV movie that he did. I think it's called Journey to something. What's it called?
I have no idea.
Journey to Promethea. And in the trailer, I think it's about some guy who's got some superpowers or something set in olden times, and he's the king, the evil king. And and I think towards the end of the trailer they're introducing the characters, and he goes, "Yeah, Journey to Promethea." He says something like starring, and it shows Billy Zane, and he just goes, "Just kill him." Like that's who is starring, or something like that. It's just
sounds terrible. I guess his career's gone down the pen then, hasn't it?
Oh well, that's a shame. So what else have you got on your list?
Well, this is definitely my my favorite action movie of all time ever. It's nudged Die Hard off the top of the list, and it's now The Rock with Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery.
Hey,
yeah. I mean, I saw on the top 5 you've had on your website, and you had Face Off. I have no idea how you could have that. I mean, Face Off.
Face Off. Well, I was just watching it. It was my girlfriend's birthday, and we had a surprise party. And some friends were over, and it was getting kind of late. It was a really nice evening, despite a lot of things trying to ruin it, like the lock on my door breaking while I was out for dinner, and trying to organize a surprise, and we had to get a locksmith out and get her friends into my place to surprise it all before we got home. There's all kinds of nightmare stuff. Anyway, the evening was winding down, and we just wanted to watch something. And I have got my DVD collection, and we were looking through it. And for some reason, one of our buddies, he was like, "Oh, let's watch Face Off." And even the girls were like, "Yeah, let's watch Face Off." I don't know, and it wasn't amazing. It's really corny and really extreme and over the top, but it was just really enjoyable, and it just, it's kind of nostalgic. I haven't seen it in so long, and I used to really enjoy it, ages ago. So I guess that's why it was on there for a while. But in terms of just action movie awesomeness, I think The Rock has to go for it. It's just,
I love it. I mean, I think brilliant. People that know me know that I'm quoting bits of the movie all the time, just like the pompous dude from Titanic. There are so many characters in The Rock that I love quoting, just out of the blue. Things like
it's a great film. I love it.
I mean, I just like to look at my friends sometimes and say, "You will address me as General Sir." Just.
Oh my god! Yeah, there's so many funny bits in it. It's so cool.
I just think, I don't know, I hadn't really heard of Nicolas Cage before that, and I think here's
a good one. Do you remember this? Stand down, Captain!
Stand down! Yeah.
See, people are going to think we're crazy, but we've seen it so many times.
There's also a bit, I always say that bit as well, where he goes, as soon as we accepted this deal, we became mercenaries, and mercenaries get paid. I don't know why. I just love these bits.
What about you? Used to try and do a really bad Connery impression, like when he says, when he's first discovers that The Rock is now a tourist attraction.
Yeah, I'm not even. If you're trying to con me into doing a Sean Connery impression, it's not going to work.
If anyone hasn't seen The Rock, then you're clearly not an action movie fan. Yeah. If you are, then you need to see it. It's probably one of the best action movies ever made.
Who made that?
And surprisingly, it's from Michael Bay, who he can do big, but often big and good don't go hand in hand. So, but this is just the perfect balance of action, humor, character development, everything. It's just brilliant. You know, the way Cage plays the kind of nerdy biological engineer, FBI agent who's forced into the field kind of assignment is great. And I love this, you know, how doofus-like he is at the beginning, like he's mumbling, he's interviewing Connery, he's like, well, you know, I'm John Goodspeed. And Connery's like, well, of course you are. Of course you are. What was his name? It was something Goodspeed. Was it John Goodspeed or
Stanley? Is it Stanley Goodspeed?
Stanley Goodspeed. Yeah, I'm Stanley Goodspeed. Of course you are. And it's great.
Is that your Sean Connery impression then? Of course you are.
I can do a better Sean Connery.
Go and do one.
Shocking, positively shocking.
Okay. This might need editing later on, I think, when you hear it back.
So The Rock, I'm definitely agreeing with you that one. The Rock is on one of my favorite. Actually, I've just like a few weeks ago, I just got it. I just put it on my phone and everything, just because I love watching it. It's just so good.
Yeah.
It's just I think that's pretty lame as a review, but it just, trust us, it is really good. You should definitely worth checking out. So what else have you got?
So my third one. This is in no particular order, by the way, but third one on the list would be Old Boy.
Old Boy.
Yeah, I mean,
it's an interesting choice.
It's funny, like this one has quite a few memories for me for some reason, because I used to watch this quite often, actually. And I remember when I first moved to Prague and everything, I used to watch it, and I used to have friends over, and we used to watch these movies and stuff. I don't know, it's just really good, really different. You know,
it is different. So just for those of you who don't know, Old Boy is a Korean movie. It's a bit of a classic. It's part of what was kind of titled the Vengeance trilogy. I think it was the middle movie. So there was Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, then Old Boy, and then Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. Actually, I think the first one was called No Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. Anyway, so Old Boy was the most kind of famous or possibly infamous title out of the trilogy, and it's pretty hard, pretty shocking, and it's stomach churning at times. So you need to go in mentally prepared. It's both kind of physical violence as well as kind of the theme of it is pretty dark. But it's about this guy who, for reasons unknown, is locked up for, I think, 13 or 15 years in a room?
Exactly, 15, I think, yeah.
15 years he's locked up in a room and he doesn't know who did it or why he's there. And then one day he's just released. And so, of course, he wants to find out, who it is, and that's what the story is about. But it's a brilliant film. It's one of those. A lot of people had it in their lists of movies to watch before you die, and I believe Hollywood, as always, are remaking it now. I think Spike Lee is the director, and I think they've got some respectable names attached to it. So people are quite optimistic. Initially, the names rumored were Will Smith and Steven Spielberg. That would have been terrible.
It's just
because it is not a family movie.
I think whenever you hear that Hollywood, redoing a movie or remaking a movie that's already been released, it's a good indicator that you should watch the original. Forget the remake,
And that, I think, applies to movies that they themselves have made.
Yeah, exactly.
As well as international movies, any movie.
I mean, it means you should watch it yourself, but... I mean,
it's got a great soundtrack.
Yeah,
it's got a great soundtrack. I downloaded, I can't remember the name. It was a brilliant track, this instrumental piece. Do you remember?
The Last Waltz, it's called, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I think it was done by a string quartet or something because they couldn't afford a full orchestra, but it fits it perfectly, the music. It's just, really, really, like, I don't know, because the string quartet is, so peaceful, and the movie is so, violent and kind of action-packed and thrilling. And yeah, so it contrasts really well with it. Eerily beautiful in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like an eerie kind of companionship. It just mixes really well. It's just the whole movie. It's just perfect. The way the music, everything, the choices that they made.
Yeah,
it just comes together so well. Yeah.
I mean, the genre was new to me as well when I first saw this. I'd never seen a revenge movie because I think that it's actually a genre now, isn't it? I mean, they call it like a revenge movie, and I mean, there are other ones, and they all seem to be from South Korea for some reason. There's the other one, the A Bittersweet Life as well, which is pretty good as well.
There have been quite a few since then. I think recently there was one called Mother. I think from one of those directors, which I didn't like that much. And The Man from Nowhere is another one.
There's a new one. I've forgotten what it's called, but it's with the guy that with the star of Oldboy and with the star of A Bittersweet Life, and they got together and they've made another revenge movie.
Is it I Saw the Devil?
Yeah, that's the one. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah,
it's on my.
I've got it on DVD. I bought it, I think, the last time I came back to the UK, but I haven't had a chance to watch it. Stuff like that I always try to pick up in the UK or stateside, order them in, because a lot of movies out here, so, well, not always, sometimes they're censored. I'm not really sure what the deal is, because they also sell imported movies, so why don't they just not censor them and then you don't need to import them? I don't really get that, but yeah, I've got it. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm not sure what to expect. It's apparently another pretty gruesome and dark movie. But yeah, Oldboy is a very, very respectable choice. Definitely worth checking out. So let's continue running down this list of yours. Okay. So what number are we up to now?
This is the fourth one, and and this is The Fugitive with Harrison Ford.
Fugitive.
Yeah, I really like that movie. I mean, because I always wanted to be a doctor and everything, and then I saw this movie and it was like some kind of detective doctor trying to clear his name. And yeah, I just thought it was really intelligent, the way he used his medical knowledge and everything, trying to escape the law. Yeah, I just really like good drama. Sometimes you need, a good drama to watch.
For me, sometimes those movies, and I would often think of them as like Sunday movies.
Yeah.
Like, if it's like a bit rainy outside and Sunday evening, and sometimes a nice kind of more of a thinking man's movie. I mean, Fugitive is pretty heavy on action as well. But I would still put it into that bracket. It has a lot of thought, so it's more cerebral. I quite enjoyed the sequel. Have you seen U.S. Marshals?
I haven't seen it yet, actually.
It's actually good.
I heard it's really good.
Old now. Yeah, it's got Wesley Snipes in it. I think recently it's just come out on Blu-ray, and it's a pretty good movie. It's got the same FBI team chasing after him with Tommy Lee Jones, and they have a very kind of a fresh-faced Robert Downey Jr., fresh out of rehab. It's quite a good film, actually. Yeah, it's a very respectable sequel.
I mean, the storyline is meant to be similar, isn't it? There's a guy who's wrongly imprisoned.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, the premise is the same. It's about this guy who is accused of a murder again, and people come after him.
I don't know what it's saying about the U.S. justice system.
False imprisonment.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's why they have 1 out of 100 people in prison and stuff. Everyone's the 1 in 100 people in America are in prison. And
that's nice.
So
that's nice.
Yeah, England's not too far behind.
Yeah. So okay, number 5. What
number
have you
5.
got?
Okay, this is I don't know why, but I used to watch this movie all the time when I was little. I don't know if it's just because I happened to have it on video or something, but it's Tremors with Kevin Bacon, and I love that film, and I saw it the other day as well, and it's just, I mean, it's so much fun. And there's these Sorry?
Don't you mean graboids?
Yeah, graboids, yeah. That's what some of the, less educated of the people call these worm things that are trying to kill people in the movie. And it's just...
So why do you sum it up for us? What happened? What was Tremors about? It's quite old now. Do you remember the...
Yeah, I mean, the premise is that there are these giant alien-type worms underneath. It's set in some desert in America, and there's only it's in a small village. And then all of a sudden, these massive worm things start eating people. And it's just so well done, because normally, these things would make it a bad film, but the fact that they didn't explain where these worms came from makes it really fun to watch, because they're just, they're everywhere and they're trying to fight them off. And then, and then it's about them surviving, really, because, it's a secluded part of America. They can't get out. The phone lines are out. There's nothing they can do. And then it's up to Kevin Bacon, to save the day. And they have to find ways to kill them.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really...
Yeah, it's almost like some kind of Jaws on land.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
Type of film you can just watch over and over. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you used to watch it for a while. You were watching it like almost every day.
Yeah, I don't know about you, what your movie was, but I think everyone has a movie that they used to watch all the time when they were little, and they know every single word. And this was that movie for me. Like, if you put it on, then I can just recite it. I know off the back of my head.
Actually, oh my god, that's so true. So for me, this is going to sound a bit corny, would be 1986 Transformers the movie.
The cartoon, right? The animated movie.
I used to watch it so much. Yeah, you're right. I actually knew all the words. And even now, I mean, it's not 100%, but even now when I watch it, if I watch it, I will still often be able to just start reading out the lines and stuff. It's really funny. That's quite unusual. Yeah, I wonder if everyone has a film like that they just used to watch. Because I don't know, I'm not sure if everyone does, because sometimes I hear people say that, oh yeah, I really love this film, I've seen it twice.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? You've seen it twice? I've seen films that I don't like twice. And films that I do like, sometimes I'll see them thousands of times or whatever, Tremors, I think I saw pretty, fair few number of times. It is a brilliant film. It's just good. It's just, they seem like real people, but at the same time, there's some pretty extreme, quite funny characters. There's good humor in it. It's really funny. Yeah. It's got a lot of good lines in it. That's a good choice. I like your list.
Yeah, it's my top
Actually,
five.
a lot of that list, I'm sure I would have touched on at some point. If we go to my list, Spirited Away. You like Spirited Away, don't you?
Oh,
You've seen that.
Wonderful. Right? I mean, Studio Ghibli, they're just, masters of just making up these amazing fantasy worlds. It's just so imaginative and yet believable. And I don't know. Yeah. I mean, they are the equivalent of Disney, but I'd say they're much more edgier and even more imaginative than they are, actually.
There's something different. I mean, people always make that comparison. It's just the Disney of Japan, and even though Disney now kind of don't they own the
they own the rights, something. I think, for American distribution. Like,
oh, I see.
Because the version,
it's just something more. Like the films are just so much more human. There's something it draws you in. Like with Spirited Away, as soon as you start watching it, even the music, it just kind of pulls you in. And you just really want to see what happens. And the animation, I think, in Spirited Away is better than anything.
Yeah.
Some of the detail is crazy. And it's this beautiful adventure about this little girl trying to save her parents. And it's a lot of fantasy. And I think to the West, it may seem a little bit unusual, but you can't deny the charm of it. Yeah. It's just, I think that's been in my top 5 for forever. If anyone asks me, what's your favorite film of all time, I always struggle to give them an answer, but if I had to give a list, Spirited Away is always in there.
Yeah, I mean, I love a lot of the other Studio Ghibli movies as well. I don't know if a lot of people got this, but you've seen Toy Story 3, haven't you?
Yeah. No, I haven't. Toy Story 3 I haven't.
The last one. You haven't seen it? Oh my god, it's amazing. But there's a character from Studio Ghibli in it.
I've heard. What is it? Totoro?
Yeah, he's actually, he doesn't speak or anything, but I mean, I just think it's a really nice homage. And actually, the DVD I have of Spirited Away, it was released, I got it after Disney bought the rights. So there's a special, a special feature on the DVD, and it was, by Pixar. And yeah, they were just talking about how much they all love Spirited Away and, just Studio Ghibli in general. They actually watch, the guys at Pixar when they're feeling, when they feel that they haven't, they're losing inspiration or they're running out of ideas, they actually all sit together and watch Studio Ghibli movies. They totally love it. So cool. They're really, so I'm glad that, Disney does have the rights, because it sounds like they really, care for these movies. And they really respect it.
We do, yeah. Wow. I mean, if you're not familiar with the Studio Ghibli and you want to check out a few of its titles. I would recommend Spirited Away, definitely. My Neighbor Totoro is one that's quite popular in Asia. I really liked it. Kiki's Delivery Service is quite a nice one.
I really like Howl's Moving Castle. I don't know if you like it, but that's after Spirited Away.
Howl's Moving Castle.
After Spirited Away, I think Howl's is my second favorite. It's amazing.
And recently I saw Ponyo by the Sea. I think that's the name. That's really good. I would recommend that heavily. Yeah. Fine. That's a pretty cool list, man.
Yeah.
So I had 3 French titles in my list, and people might be like, "What the hell are those?" You've seen them as well. I think they're really good. Heartbreaker, Priceless, these 2 French romantic comedies, and don't be put off by that. They're so different. They're so unique, and you cannot compare to a lot of the trash that you see coming out of the States. So if you hear the term romantic comedy and you think, what the hell, why is this guy watching this crap? Well, you check it out and you see what you think, and I'm pretty sure you'll be pleasantly surprised, because they're just so well written, they're so funny, and they're unlike anything we see from probably anywhere else in the world. And there's always the French who do it. They're so good at it.
I think it's because it has to, those movies that you mentioned, when you watch it, you feel like it has to have been made in France for it to have been that good. That's why, you have Les Dîners de Cons, and when America redoes it, it just loses something. It loses
something, yeah.
Because it has to be, you can't watch Les Dîners de Cons with them the dubbed version. You have to watch it subtitled. Otherwise it just loses that charm, and it just loses a lot of the humor. You can't have it dubbed, you can't have it in English. It has to be the way that they've made it, and I think the same is true with the other 2, Heartbreakers and Priceless, because there's just something very French about them, and that's not a bad thing, by the way. It's a really good thing.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really,
so Le Dîner de Cons is a play which the last time I was in Paris, let me just think about the dates. I think maybe in 2007, and it was still playing, and it's a really quite an old play now. It's a story, a group of friends, they like to have fun by hosting a dinner each week where they each need to try and bring the biggest idiot that they can find, just for their own entertainment. So this idiot's dinner, and this guy, this lead character, he finds the biggest idiot of the world, and he wants to see what this guy's like before he takes him to this dinner. He invites him over to his really fancy pants apartment with a view of the Eiffel Tower, and because it's a play, the whole film takes place in his apartment, but it's genius, the comedy that ensues, how incompetent this character is, but at the same time he ends up quite endearing, and helps him to kind of save his marriage, and it's just so funny, but so perfectly well written that it's just lost completely in translation whenever America tries to remake it. And I think they've tried 2 or 3 times. Yeah, I mean, and it's never worked.
I think I don't know if you'll agree, but I think it's kind of similar to Fawlty Towers. Do you remember that TV program?
Yeah,
I think it's really similar to that. I mean, Fawlty Towers, for those of you who don't know, it's about a British guy, and he owns a bed and breakfast, and that's it. But the owner is really, just crazy, really out there. He really looks down upon the people that he has to serve, and he really loves doctors. He'll lick their asses and stuff, but he hates everyone else. And then he thinks he knows best, but he never does. It's actually his wife that knows everything. But it's just a really, really funny sitcom. It's 12 episodes of genius, and
it's only 12.
Yeah, it's only 12 episodes. But it's got John Cleese. He's the main protagonist in it, and he's a comedy genius. But they tried to redo this in so many countries, and it's failed everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, they've tried in America, they tried in Spain, I heard, tried in lots of places, but they couldn't recapture it. And I think Le Dîner de Cons is similar. You can't. There's something about it. It has to be French. It has to be just like Fawlty Towers has to be British. It has to be those original ones. And I'd say that actually, I'd say the schmuck, you know, he's actually like a Manuel from Fawlty Towers. He reminds me of that. You know, he's just, you know, he doesn't know what's going on half the time.
He's a complete buffoon. He is an idiot, but because he's so innocent, that you can't hate him for
exactly,
it. Right. It's just endearing, and you just. Yeah, it's such a brilliant film. So, so I hope that kind of brings us to the end of our episode. I hope you've all enjoyed listening to us rant about these movies. Not anything in the kind of current box office, but still some titles you should definitely check out if you're a movie fan. And until next time, and maybe Keith will join us again if he's not too busy, and if Yao is. So farewell and take care. Take care. Bye.
Bye.